All right, today we're getting into a story. It's about a home, a family, and a situation that is so extreme, it pushes someone to their absolute breaking point. It's a really personal story about what happens when the one place you're supposed to feel safe, your home, turns into a prison you can't escape. And let's just jump right in with this a powerful statement from the person at the center of this story. It's kind of cryptic, right? And honestly, a little chilling. It just perfectly sets the stage for what we're about to get into. This one sentence, it just hangs there, and you can't help but wonder, what on earth could have happened? And yeah, that's really the question, isn't it? How did it get to this point? How does a life, a marriage, a whole family just spiral into something unimaginable? We're going to trace it all back, all the way to the beginning, to figure out how a home, a place that's supposed to be about love and safety, became a silent battleground. So, to really get what happens later, we've got to go back to the one moment that basically lit the fuse on this whole thing. Wow. Okay, there it is. The one decision that changes everything. I mean, can you even imagine the shock? The feeling of betrayal? Your entire life, your home, just completely turned upside down. This isn't just about having a guest you don't like. This is a total forced rewrite of what your family is, all inside the same four walls. Okay, so this is actually really important for context. What's being described here is something called polygyny, and it's key to make that distinction. It's really different from what some people might think of as polyamory, which is all about the enthusiastic consent of every single person involved. Polygyny has its own very complex cultural and social dynamics. Man, this quote, it just hits you, doesn't it? It perfectly captures what she must have felt right away. It's not just about sharing a kitchen. It's that feeling of being displaced, of losing all control. The one place in the entire world where you're supposed to feel safe, and suddenly it's like you don't even belong there anymore. So you can probably guess what happens next. An arrangement like this, it's just not sustainable. It was bound to unravel, and fast. That quiet, tense feeling in the house, it was about to get a whole lot louder. And this timeline just shows you how quickly it all fell apart. Look at that. It wasn't one big blow up. It was this slow, creeping pressure that just kept building. You go from forcing a smile in week 1 to full-blown arguments, to kids getting involved, and then by month 4, you're not even sleeping. The whole house became a pressure cooker, and someone just kept turning up the heat day after day. And this really puts it into perspective, right? The before and after. On one side, you have peace, a routine, a sense of privacy. And on the other, conflict, stress, and a daily battle just to feel like you have a place. The entire meaning of home was just shattered. And the thing is, this tension wasn't just some vague feeling in the air. It was real. It was in the little things, the everyday stuff you can't escape. Who gets to use the kitchen and when? Disagreements about chores, about the kids, even the husband's attention being split. Every single one of these was a potential fight, every single day. And this quote, it just shows you the psychological cost of all this. The battle wasn't just over who does the dishes. She felt like she was losing herself, like she was fighting to hold on to her own identity in a life that didn't feel like hers anymore. A life that, frankly, was telling her she didn't matter. So all of this constant pressure, this daily grind of conflict, you just know it's building up to something big. It was all leading to one single moment, a breaking point that was going to change absolutely everything. I couldn't take it anymore. That's it. Just 4 words, but they changed the entire story. This is the pivot point. After months and months of just trying to survive, trying to keep her head above water, she hit the wall. She reached her absolute limit. Something had to give. And it's wild, because in the middle of all that chaos in that final fight, she found this moment of pure clarity. You can see her thought process right here. First, the breaking point. Then, the sudden realization that, oh my gosh, nothing is ever going to change. And finally, the choice. The choice to leave. Not because she was giving up, but to save herself. Just one. One decision. One final, irreversible choice that was going to completely redefine her future. And her kids' future, too. It's like, in that moment where she felt she'd lost everything, she made the one choice that was truly hers. The choice to find herself again. So,
After all that, after the confrontation and the big decision, what was left? What happens next?
And this was the outcome. She packed her bags, she took her kids, and she walked away. And you might not call that a victory in the usual sense, but in this story, it was total liberation. It was the moment she finally stopped fighting a battle she could never win and started walking her own path.
And this last quote just says it all, doesn't it? It's such a powerful paradox. What looked like losing everything, her home, her marriage, was actually the first step to getting herself back. By leaving the house, she could finally start to rebuild the home inside herself, the place where she could just be. And that's where we'll leave this story. It's an incredible story, really, that comes from a situation most of us can't even imagine. It's just a powerful reminder of how resilient people can be. And it kind of leaves you thinking, right? In those impossible situations, when it feels like everything is gone, how do we find that core strength inside ourselves to start over?